Welcome to Tech Challenge Makers Conquer E-commerce. I'm Elise, your resident tech expert and author of the book Browser versus Buyer. I've worked with entrepreneurs for over 6 years, and I've helped hundreds of creatives overcome their technology fears. Gain clarity and direction in your business with Elise's E-commerce Elevator 6-month group coaching program. Join now at myscheduledbiz.com/elevator. The link is in the show notes. Today, we'll be talking about the value of community for entrepreneurs at home. By the end of this episode, you'll understand why community is so important to your personal life, the technology that you can use to form those essential connections, and walk away with one action step. Before we can jump into talking about community at home, we need to answer a couple questions. So first, who are you? What is your identity? Before we jump into the rest of the episode, please share this podcast with other business owners that it can help. Also, be sure to stick with me to the end of the episode to learn your challenge for today and implement what you've learned. You might find yourself tempted to answer something like this. I'm a spouse, a parent, a business owner, an artist, a crafter, a musician, a movie watcher, any number of labels. But this is part of the problem with the question, who are you? The first problem is it's very hard to truly define who we are without using labels. And this means that we end up deciding who we are and then holding tightly to that identity, even when it no longer serves us, or maybe it isn't even true at all. Second, we're constantly changing. What you are today, you may not be tomorrow. Are you still a musician if you haven't played in a week, a month, a year, 10 years, 50 years? After you have your first child, you're suddenly a mom, which you never were before. For many years, I've held a belief that people don't like me when they meet me, that I make a bad impression, that something about me turns them off. I thought it was a combination of my size, I'm 6 feet tall and very broad in real life, and my direct, sometimes aggressive mannerisms. As recently as a few weeks ago, I was telling my accountability group about this drawback in my personality, about how it makes it more difficult for me to meet people in real life. This was true about me at some point in my life, but it isn't true any longer. I'm still aggressive and very blunt, but I've also learned to understand myself and others much more than I did when I was younger. People are far more likely to see me as honest instead of rude because I've changed. But for years, I let this definition of myself hold me back and give me an excuse for my introverted tendencies. After all, if they weren't going to like me anyway, what was the point in even trying? Many of us let our status as a mom define who we are, or a business owner. So I want to challenge you not to identify yourself as how you've seen yourself in the past, and not to overly identify with one aspect of your personality. It paints a false picture of the beauty and the layers that lie within. So Elise, what does this have to do with community? I can hear you guys asking. Want more help with your e-commerce brand? Subscribe to Tech Challenge Makers Conquer E-commerce on your favorite podcast platform so that you don't miss any of the episodes that are released every week to help you grow your e-commerce shopping. There's a power in having to hear what others say about you. And this is something that only happens in community. In listening to how they see you, sometimes you can realize things about yourself you never knew, or that you're hesitant to accept. It took a series of people telling me I was wrong before I could even begin to open my eyes to the fact that I've made progress and bettered myself, and that I was defining myself by someone I was 20 years ago. As I've been building community around myself, I've discovered strengths that I never even knew I had, and weaknesses that I want to acknowledge and change. It's true, sometimes people don't really get you, but sometimes they see through a much clearer lens than the cracked, broken mirror that you've been looking through. So there's extreme value in building connection with others so that you can more clearly see yourself. Because as a small business owner, there's a lot of you that goes into your business. And how can you truly use your strengths if you don't even know what they are? But there's more to it than that. It's important for us to have people who understand all it means to be a business owner, which is why we need a business community. But it's just as important for us to be able to step back, let go of that business side of ourselves, and just be the artist, the moviegoer, or the mom. By leaning into each of the different sides of yourself, you get to know yourself better and better and better, which ultimately can only help you be more centered and more aligned with what is best for you and your business. We all know what to do when the bags drop out of the ceiling in the airplane. We put our mask on first, and then we help those around us. How can you help your audience if you're drowning in your business and have no real outside connections? It's time once again to talk about technology. This is one of my favorite uses for tech, finding fun things to do. Fun things that allow you to step out of yourself and do something different. Go on Groupon or Google events in your area. Visit a farm or paint a picture. Just do something that has no value other than allowing you to enjoy yourself. I recently joined a knitting circle. We meet once a month. There is no value to my business. I have no intention of using it as a place to find clients or business connections. But what it does is it gives me space to do something creative every single month. I found that group through Facebook. I also joined my brothers weekly online to play games together because we live in different states. The only point is to connect with one another and have a good time together. We do it through a platform called Steam. Last Friday, I went to the Harry Potter Yule Ball here in Houston, and I have got to tell you, it was the most fun I've had in a long time. My husband and I danced and partook in an amazing night of well-mannered frivolity. I found out about it through an ad on Google. Technology doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be a chore. It can help you do amazing things and build connection with those around you. As you know, I always try to give you one piece of advice every single week. So what's today's advice? My advice to you is to find something that you'll enjoy that you've never done before. Invite a few people over for a game night. Join a book club. Ask a friend who you haven't seen in a while to go to a local event. Just do something new so that you can connect with others. But more importantly, so that you can connect with who you are in this moment. Because you'll never be this person again, and she is worth celebrating. If you like what we're doing here at Tech Challenge Makers Conquer E-commerce and it's helping you gain clarity and direction in your business, you should check out Elise's e-commerce elevator. In this 6-month group coaching program, I'll guide you through the ins and outs of building a business for purchase conversion. You'll also get to join up with a small group of other e-commerce shop owners who are focused on building exponential growth and reaching the right audience. Head over to myscheduledbiz.com/elevator and join us. We welcome a limited number of new members every 6 months, and by signing up today, you'll reserve your spot. Thanks for listening. See you next week right here on Tech Challenge Makers Conquer E-commerce.